If you keep calling this shyness, there's a good chance it's actually a learned cost calculation. You can be smart enough to read the room in seconds and still go quiet because your body has linked speaking with friction, exposure, or being subtly pushed out. Most people see that silence and assume lack of confidence. You may assume that too. It makes sense. From the outside, quiet insight can look a lot like self-doubt, especially in rooms that reward speed, certainty, and people who treat volume like evidence. Another common frame is overthinking. You notice too much, then freeze. That reading is understandable because your mind is active. But the stuckness usually is not caused by too many thoughts alone. It often comes from an old prediction that expression will cost belonging. Research on high-sensitivity processing, especially Elaine Aron's work, helps here. Some nervous systems take in subtler cues, process them deeply, and notice patterns early, so you may register tension, hierarchy, or contradiction before the room has consciously named any of it. Polyvagal theory, associated with Stephen Porges, adds another layer. When your system reads social risk, speech itself can become harder. Your throat tightens, timing disappears. Words that were clear alone become blurry in company because safety and expression are deeply linked. Attachment system regulation matters too. Peter Fonagy and Alan Shore both point toward how relational environments shape self-expression. If being accurate once brought dismissal, mockery, or emotional withdrawal, your system may learn that staying quiet preserves connection, even when silence leaves you lonely. So, the pattern often starts with perception. You catch the glance after your idea. You hear the joke that was not really a joke. You sense when a plan is drifting. Because you register more variables, you start simulating outcomes before anyone else seems concerned. Then comes the internal sorting. You ask whether speaking will clarify things or make you the problem. You measure status, mood, and timing. That rapid analysis can look calm from the outside. But inside it is labor. A whole committee meeting in seconds. If earlier experiences paired honesty with rupture, another layer appears. Your nervous system begins scanning for the interpersonal price tag. Will you seem difficult, dramatic, intense, too much? So your intelligence starts serving risk management instead of direct expression. Over time, silence becomes identity. People call you easygoing, thoughtful, mature. Some of that is true, but in a very real way, praise for your restraint can trap you inside it. You become known for being measured, even when your unspoken thoughts are loud. At work, this can look like spotting the flaw in a plan during the first 10 minutes of the meeting, then saying nothing until the damage arrives. Later, someone else names the issue more bluntly. You are left with the private ache of having seen it early. In intimate relationships, you may catch distance before there is a fight. Replies get shorter. Warmth turns procedural. You notice it, then debate whether saying anything will sound needy. So you grow more careful, while the disconnection you sensed keeps widening quietly. You may become the one who notices everyone's emotional weather and edits yourself around it. You know which topic will make the room rigid. You know who cannot tolerate directness. So holidays become performances of stability, while your real reactions stay hidden. In friendships, this pattern often shows up after a small hurt, a canceled plan, a dismissive comment, being talked over for the third time. You tell yourself it is minor, then replay it at night. The pain is not only the moment, it is the self-erasure afterward. The reframe is simple, though not always easy to feel. Your silence may be intelligence, shaped by caution. Your feeling is real. Your first interpretation might not be. Instead of asking, "Why am I weak here?" ask, "What cost is my system trying to prevent?" One useful practice this week is a 2-line note on your phone. Line 1, what you noticed. Line 2, what you predicted would happen if you said it aloud. This separates perception from fear and lets you see the pattern without immediately judging it. A second practice is body-first timing. Before a hard conversation, exhale longer than you inhale for 1 minute. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Then ask one clean question instead of delivering a whole analysis. Regulate first, interpret second, decide third. What years with this pattern have taught me is that quiet, perceptive people are rarely empty. Usually they are crowded with context, with possible reactions, with old memories of getting the tone exactly right and still being misunderstood. So their silence is often crowded too. I have also learned that many people who carry this pattern were rewarded early for being low maintenance. They became the child who did not add stress, the partner who stayed reasonable, the employee who translated chaos into order. Competence covered a lot of loneliness. The thing is, being perceptive without practiced expression creates a strange split. You can feel almost overdeveloped internally and underrepresented externally. Other people respond to the version of you that made it into the room, not the fuller one living beneath restraint. That split can make you question your own reality. If nobody else named the tension, maybe you invented it. If the conversation moved on, maybe the issue was small, but often you were early. Not wrong. Early insight can feel shaky when the group has not caught up yet. I keep noticing how often shame rushes in after the moment passes. You replay the meeting, the dinner, the text thread. You craft better sentences 2 hours later. Then shame says, "See, if it mattered, you would have said it then." That is a harsh misread. Many systems go offline around social risk in precise ways. Interoception can get noisy. Your heart speeds up, your stomach drops, and your brain mistakes activation for evidence that silence is safer. Emotion is data, not always direction. Activation does not automatically mean danger. There is often a fawn-shaped edge here too. Not full submission, just a small reflex to protect harmony by softening your truth. You phrase things carefully, then more carefully, until the point loses oxygen. The room stays comfortable. You leave feeling absent from your own life. Some people with strong pattern recognition become excellent translators for everyone except themselves. You can articulate another person's motives with nuance, yet go blank about your own threshold. That is not hypocrisy. It is what happens when self-expression has carried more interpersonal risk. So, recovery here is often less about becoming louder and more about becoming less divided. Fewer internal negotiations, more tolerance for the tiny surge that comes before honest speech, more willingness to let a sentence land without immediately cushioning everyone else from it. It also helps to stop using the loudest person in the room as your measurement standard. Quick certainty is not the only form of intelligence. Some of the clearest minds speak slowly, revise in public, and need 3 extra seconds to let the body catch up. Right, and there is grief in this too. Grief for the meetings, relationships, and family moments where your clarity stayed locked behind diplomacy. Grief for how often you were called calm when you were actually self-suppressing. Naming that grief can loosen the old contract. If you are in the lonely middle of seeing clearly and saying little, the task is gentle repetition. 1 sentence sooner, 1 cleaner boundary, 1 less apology before a valid point. You do not need a different personality. You need more safety while being accurately expressed. Over time, that changes the loneliness. People may still misunderstand you sometimes. Rooms may still reward the fastest voice. But your inner life stops feeling like a private country no one can enter. Take a breath, name the pattern, and I'll see you in the next one. Which one of these landed too close to home?